I still remember the look in his eyes, lost, a little embarrassed, but mostly hopeless. It was a crisp morning in Portland when Jack, 67-year-old former firefighter, stepped into my office. He sat down slowly, looked at me, and said, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore. I wake up, and it's like my body doesn't even know I'm alive down there." He wasn't the first to tell me this, and he won't be the last. That moment, right there, is why I'm making this video. My name is Dr. Mark Hyman, MD, for over 3 decades. I've worked as a physician and educator in the field of functional medicine. I've helped thousands of men reclaim their health, their dignity, and their sense of self, not with pills or promises, but with science-backed, natural strategies that honor the body's own intelligence. Through my clinical practice, I've worked with war veterans, former athletes, factory workers, and men who've spent their whole lives providing for others but forgot how to care for themselves. And over the years, I've learned something powerful, something you'll rarely hear in a doctor's office. Your body isn't broken, it's just asleep. Like a home that's been dark for too long. It's not that the wiring is fried, it's that nobody's flipped the switch in years. But once you do, the lights come back on, the warmth returns. The morning strength you used to wake up with, it's still there, waiting. What if I told you that all it takes to bring it back is a little time, a little patience, and your own 2 hands? This isn't about chasing youth. It's about waking up the man that's always been inside you. Not with shame, not with frustration, but with presence. In this story, I'll walk you through exactly how to reconnect with that power, starting with 3 small points on your own body that most men have never touched with intention. And trust me, when you learn how to find them, everything changes. I first met Richard in Santa Fe. He was 71, a retired school principal, sharp-witted, always with a dry joke at the ready. But when we sat down in private, his voice dropped. "Doc," he said, "I don't want Viagra. I want something real. I want to feel like I used to, even just for one morning." So I asked him one question. Have you ever pressed the power buttons on your own body? He blinked, confused. Most men are. No one ever taught us that there are pressure points real, physical places on our own skin that can reignite blood flow, sexual energy, and sensitivity. Not mystical, not magical. Just human biology we've forgotten to use. Let me tell you about 3 of them. The first is right above your pubic bone. Not deep, just a gentle spot that, when touched with breath and focus, activates blood flow signals most men haven't felt in years. I call it the ignition switch. It's where the reconnection begins. The second is between your scrotum and anus, what Eastern medicine refers to as CV1. Western doctors don't even talk about it, but I've seen firsthand when this area is gently stimulated, especially by sitting on a rolled towel. It releases years of pelvic tension. Richard tried it, just sitting quietly each morning for 5 minutes. Within a week, he called me. "Doc," he whispered. I felt warmth for the first time in a decade. I didn't expect that. And the third point, most surprising of all, it runs along the inner thigh, tracing a quiet pathway where your leg meets your torso, tied directly to your femoral artery and nerve. This area feeds your reproductive system. If it's tight, blocked, ignored, your manhood pays the price. Richard began gently tracing the area with his fingertips, noticing sore spots and breathing into them. It was strange at first, he said, but then I felt something shift. These 3 points aren't some fringe idea. They're backed by decades of anatomy, physiology, and lived experience. They're not just spots on your body. They're keys. And when you learn to press them with care, something remarkable happens. You stop relying on pills. You stop feeling helpless. You start waking up whole again. You know what always gets to me? It's not the medical charts, not the blood tests. It's the letters. I once received a handwritten note from a man named Carl. He was some 75, a former train conductor from Georgia. His handwriting shook a little, but his words were steady. Dr. Hyman. I wasn't expecting a miracle. I just wanted to feel human again. Carl had stumbled across my video one night, sleepless and frustrated. Like many men, he wasn't looking for sex, he was looking for connection. A sign that his body still belonged to him. He followed the simple steps, pressed the points each morning, took deep breaths, and gave himself 5 minutes of stillness before anyone else woke up. He didn't tell his wife. Not yet. He wanted to be sure it was real. Week 1, he felt a tingling sensation, strange, but not unpleasant. Week 2, warmth. And by week 3, Carl told me he woke up hard for the first time in 12 years. He cried, and when he told his wife, she cried too. But Carl isn't the only one. There's Ben from Milwaukee, 69, a retired trucker who wrote, Doc, I didn't think I'd care about this stuff at my age, but when I felt that pulse again, I smiled like a teenager. Or Anthony, 64, a widowed pastor from Montana who said, this isn't about being a man in the bedroom. It's about feeling alive in the mirror. These men don't want magic. They want meaning. They want to know their bodies haven't given up on them. That under the silence and stiffness, something real still waits. That's the heart of all this, not just stronger erections, but deeper presence. A renewed sense of identity, of worth, of quiet dignity. You see, when a man wakes up to himself again, everything else starts to shift. His sleep deepens. His shoulders relax. Even the way he walks changes. I've seen it hundreds of times. And if you're still with me, watching this right now, maybe you're ready to feel it too. There's one area no man talks about yet. It may hold more power than any pill ever could. I remember my patient George from Ohio. He was 66, a retired airline mechanic. Sturdy hands, quiet demeanor, always wore the same baseball cap every visit. But when we began working together, I introduced him to something he'd never heard before. Your inner thigh isn't just muscle, it's a forgotten power line. He looked at me sideways. Most men do. We've been taught to think our thighs are for walking, for balance, maybe for sports in our younger years. But hidden along the crease where your thigh meets your groin is a highway home to the femoral artery and nerve. This path doesn't just pass by your manhood, it feeds it. For years, George had been experiencing numbness. He thought it was age. I asked him to lie back each morning and slowly run his fingertips along that inner crease. Not hard, not rushed, just feel. And when he found a sore spot, and he did, I told him to pause. Breathe into it. Let the tension dissolve. 3 days in, he texted me, Doc, I didn't expect much, but I'm waking up different. After a week, he said his legs felt lighter. After 2, he felt warmth not just down there, but through his hips, his lower back, his stride. You know what's strange, he asked me. I walk with more power. Not macho, just steady. This hidden thigh line is often tight, stiff, even numb after years of disuse. We sit too much, we rush, we stop paying attention, and blood stops flowing freely. But when you reopen this path gently, consistently, you don't just bring life back to your manhood. You reconnect your lower body to your brain, to your breath, to your sense of control. It's not just about performance. It's about power, quiet, grounded, real power. And the best part, you don't need fancy equipment, just a quiet room, your fingers, and a few minutes of focus. George still does it daily. He says it's not a habit, it's a ritual, and it shows. Let's get one thing straight. The techniques work, but only if your body's ready to respond. Think of it like this. Those 3 pressure points we've talked about, they're keys, but if the engine is rusted or the wiring's fried, turning the key won't get you far. That's why I always tell my patients, like Harold from Arizona, What you do the other 23 hours of the day matters just as much as those 5 minutes in the morning. Harold was 70, a former high school football coach. He'd started the practice, but was frustrated. "I feel a spark," he said, "but it fizzles fast." That's when we looked at his habits, and that's where the real shift began. First, I taught him how to breathe. Most men over 60 breathe from their chest shallow, fast, tense. But when you inhale deeply through your nose and into your belly, your body responds. Your nitric oxide levels rise. Your blood vessels expand. 5 minutes of deep belly breathing each morning was all it took. He began to sleep better, wake up calmer. Second, I asked him to drink warm water the moment he woke up. Not cold, not coffee, just a glass of warm water. Why, he asked. Because your blood thickens overnight, I explained. You need that first sip to thin it out and get it moving, especially where it matters most. He grumbled, but he did it. Third, we tackled sugar. Turns out Harold had a sweet tooth, especially at night. I explained how sugar inflames blood vessels, stiffens arteries, and strangles circulation. We didn't cut it all, just the late night desserts. "I miss my pie," he joked, "but I don't miss waking up numb." Fourth, we added movement, but not in the way he expected. No gym, no push-ups, just a light 15-minute walk after dinner. Enough to activate his venous pump system and redistribute blood through his legs, pelvis, and heart. "It clears my head," he told me one night, "and I feel lighter." None of this was complicated. No apps, no memberships, just breath, water, awareness, and movement. And within 2 weeks, the sparks Harold had once felt began to last longer, stronger, deeper. He didn't just get his erections back, he got his rhythm back. These 4 habits aren't optional. They're the roots beneath the tree. Without them, the branches can't hold fruit. And the best part, they're yours, free, right now. All you have to do is begin. Let me tell you something. Most doctors won't. A breakthrough isn't built in a moment. It's built in the moments you choose to return. I think about Walter from Michigan, a 73-year-old retired jazz musician. He had rhythm in his fingers, soul in his voice, but had lost touch with his body. He told me, "Doc, I don't need fireworks. I just want to feel like I still matter." And so, he began, quietly. Every morning, before his wife woke up, he'd press the 3 points, breathe deep, sip warm water, walk after dinner, skip dessert. Nothing flashy, just consistent, just present. One day, he came in with a smile I hadn't seen before. "You know what changed?" he asked. "It's not that I woke up hard, it's that I woke up proud." That's what this is about. This isn't a trick. It's not a performance. It's a return, a reunion with yourself. But here's the thing. It only works when you stop treating it like a routine and start honoring it like a ritual. A ritual is sacred. It's not rushed. It's not checked off like a to-do list. It's a promise, a commitment, a quiet moment that says, "I haven't given up on you. I'm still listening. I still care." And when your body hears that message again and again, day after day, it responds. Not just below the belt, but everywhere. In your posture, your sleep, your laughter, your relationships. Ritual reminds you that your strength never really left. It just needed to be remembered. Walter didn't chase youth. He reclaimed something better presence. And you can, too. Every time you show up for yourself, breathe a little deeper, press with a little more care, and walk with a little more purpose. You tell your nervous system, "I'm still here." That's when healing becomes real. That's when men stop surviving and start living again. So ask yourself, will today be the day you remember who you are? Because the man, you are the one full of energy, pride, and fire. He's still in there, waiting. If you've made it this far, I want you to take a breath right now. Deep Slow, steady. Feel that? That's presence. That's power. That's you. Choosing to care again. So many men walk through their later years feeling invisible. Not because they're weak, not because they failed, but because somewhere along the way, they stopped hearing from their own bodies. They stopped being seen even by themselves. But what you've just learned, it's more than a technique. It's a reminder that your strength isn't gone. Your manhood isn't broken. And your best days aren't behind you. They're here, right now, in this breath, in this moment. Every time you take 5 minutes to reconnect, press the points, breathe deeply, sip warm water, walk with intention. You're not just doing a health hack. You're building a relationship with your body again. One built on trust, on care, on dignity. And trust me, I've seen it firsthand with men from all walks of life, from steel workers in Pittsburgh to ranchers in Texas, from pastors in the Midwest to grandfathers in Florida. The men who choose this path don't just see changes in the mirror. They feel it in their bones. They stand taller. They love deeper. They live wider. So don't rush this. Don't treat it like another item on your to-do list. Make it yours. Make it sacred. Make it the moment each day where you remind yourself, I'm not done yet. I'm still here. And I still matter. And if you do that even for 5 minutes a day, you'll be amazed at what wakes up inside you, because your strength didn't disappear. It just needed your attention. And now it has it.